Hey guys, Dan here with Hardly Brief Programming. Today we're going to start looking at our new Unity project, the Unity 2D platformer that I said in the last video that we're going to start working on. This is going to be a pretty short video. We're just going to be an introduction to what we're going to be doing, and then I'm going to build a basic setup video where we just set up our project in our project editor in Unity and just get that all ready to go. So the first thing I want to do is kind of talk about briefly what we're going to be working on, so you guys kind of get an idea, kind of get like an expectations kind of thing. I want you guys to know what you can expect to get out of this and what you can expect to learn and how it will be useful outside of our normal stuff that we do, or how it will be useful in your other own projects. So what I'm going to do is go to a different view. Here I'm in Inkscape. It's a free vector drawing program. I'll put a link down in the description below so that you can go ahead and download it. But basically, Inkscape is a free vector drawing a free vector drawing program. It allows you to create all kinds of different shapes and stuff and add colors. And I find it very easy for me to make some basic artwork so I can get my games looking a little bit better than just white blocks that Unity provides. So I've gone ahead and started creating a lot of the things that I want for the game for this project. And again, all this will be available to download very shortly. It's all free for you to use, to change, and manipulate how you want. I'll provide the SVG file that's an Inkscape file along with the download for all the separate PNGs that we need that you need to import into Unity. So here we have, I'll just go ahead over some of the mobs and stuff and then I'll talk about more of like the setup of the project and stuff as we go along. The idea here is I wanted to have a Unity project or the platformer be a lot like kind of like Mario, where you have a world with different levels, and at the end of that world you have a boss fight, right? So to keep this simple, instead of having 4 levels, I'm going to create 1 level. I'll show you how to create multiple levels, so if you want you can go ahead and create more, but we'll create 1 level, and then when you finish that level, and you can make it however long you want, but when you finish that level you will be able to move on to the boss fight. And the boss fight I would like to make a couple phases with a couple abilities, and that way our boss could be, you could adapt a lot of what we do with the boss into your RPG projects, or if you have other things that you want to do, a lot of the things that we do with AI and those mechanics you'll be able to use in other projects and not just with this project. So it's a good starting area for those types of things. Now that we are talking about monsters, that's going to be like our enemies. That's going to be a major point of this tutorial series. We're going to be taking a look at how to have one monster model with just different color variations and creating basically a base monster class where we add different abilities based on the color of the monster. So all these are slimes. The game is based on kind of slimes, I guess. And I have a green, blue, purple, and orange slime here. And the only difference, like right now, is the color for the most part. The pool, this little pool on the bottom, is basically what it's going to look like when they die. And my initial thought for these would be, with the eyes, is when they die we will have them come back to life, right? So maybe these guys have 2 lives, these guys only have 1, and when you crush these the first time, or if you kill it or whatever with the spike, however we decide to do that, they will form this puddle. The eyes will give a visual cue to the player, hey, this thing is still alive, it's going to come back, and maybe after 5 seconds or something it pops back up and it's moving around again. And it's your decision whether to kill it again or just leave it alone and move on. So that's that. I got a couple spikes here. We have a version with 3 and then a version with 6. This is just to add some things to the level. Maybe we'll have a pit of spikes, or maybe we will have spikes that fall from the ceiling. Maybe you could set like a trap and drag in one of these slimes under spikes, and then the spikes fall and kill the slime, something like that. But that was the idea behind the spikes. Couple projectiles here. We have a green projectile and a blue projectile. Maybe these fall from the sky again. Maybe they'll get launched from a cannon. Maybe the green guy launches the green slime, and maybe the blue guy launches the blue slime. You know, something like that. We can do whatever we want, but I just wanted to create some basic artwork to give a general idea of what you guys can expect from this project. Here we have our character. He's not the prettiest character. I'm still working on him, coming up with some different ideas. I actually created a time-lapse video that I'll probably post later on that kind of shows me creating him and some of the other artwork you see on this sheet of paper here. But the idea with him is he's going to have this gun, and we'll be able to rotate the gun with the mouse. and fire it using the left mouse button as he runs across the screen. We have platforms here, just some various size boxes that we can use in Unity, as well as this other brown platform that I was thinking would be a good movable platform. You can kind of rotate, or excuse me, move side to side kind of thing. Not lastly, but we also have some water, slimy looking water. I'm not sure if I'll use that yet, but I wanted to create that kind of asset. I was messing around with kind of creating a wavy like feature. The last part of this, though, I have the last art that I have done now is actually the boss. So this is our boss character. He pretty simple. He's like a big slime creature. I guess he's like a white slime creature with a little bit of white dots, or excuse me, colored dots depending on what weapon he's going to be holding. And my idea behind this is the slimes above are the same colors as what the boss can have. So let's say if the blue slime launches these blue slimes, then maybe when the boss turns blue and he has his blue slime on his scythe here, he will launch blue projectiles, and that's something that you'd have to dodge. And then maybe if the pink guy leaves pink pools around, then when the boss turns pink, you'll have to dodge pink pools. So it adds different abilities to the boss, but the player will progressively learn what those colors mean and do. So by the time they get to the boss, they'll be prepared. And again, this is all going to be built off our base monster class that I'll talk later on when we start programming. But this is the general idea of how I want the game to flow. So now I've kind of gone over a lot of the artwork. Briefly, just want to say that all this will be available to download again. So don't worry, I'm not expecting you guys to draw all this stuff. But if you do, if you're a much better artist than me, then please, by all means, go ahead and download Inkscape and give it a try for yourself. Again, the link for Inkscape will be down in the description below. But now let's go ahead and look at Unity, and I'm in a basic Unity project here. This is Unity 3D, I think it's 5.2 or something like that. I'm not sure exactly which version, but it's one of the later versions. I've named this project Platformer Tutorial, and this is to be the project that we're working in. Again, this is just a base Unity project. I haven't changed anything. It's a Unity 2D project. I have changed around the way I dock the windows, but again, if you are brand new to Unity, all these windows can be docked however you want. So let's say you don't like any of these, you can go up to Layout up here in the top right and change it. So if you like the 4 split, if you like the default view, which is this, if you just installed a brand new Unity, this is what you'll get. A 2x3 view, a wide layout, a tall layout, all these different layouts. It's really up to you what you like to do. I personally like having my game view down here now. I move the hierarchy view to the left, like that. And let's see. And then the projects folder, I like doing more so like down here, kind of like that. Something a little bit different, maybe like that. Change up this view a little bit. Nothing too crazy, but I do like changing all these views around. I'm not a huge fan of the default Unity layout. So if you want to change yours around, by all means, go ahead and do it. We are going to work on a few other things here as well. I'm trying to change this back, and oh, here we go. We want one column. I like one column layout for my project window. I don't like the 2 columns. So if you want to change that, you just go up here to change it to 2 to 1. And if you don't want them in this view, you can actually take the project layout, you can drag it off to like another monitor and use it as its own window. Again, so if you have 2 or 3 monitors and you want to move all your windows around, you're more than welcome to do that. But just get the project set up how you want. Once I get the project set, I'll try not to change it too much so it doesn't confuse you guys. I'll probably keep it very similar to this view you see here, where we'll have all of our game objects in the hierarchy window. We'll be building our scene up here. And then we'll have our game view on the bottom, or we might just combine it so it looks like this. Alright, but now that we kind of got that going, I'm going to bring up this project panel. Before I leave you guys today, we're going to put together some folders and import Visual Studio folders so that we can use Visual Studio for our programming. So what I first like to do when I start a new project is build a whole bunch of folders. So our first folder would be scripts, kind of generic thing that most Unity tutorials they show. So we'll have our scripts folder. Going to create another one. We'll call it, I'd say, audio, I guess, like that. And then we'll do another folder. We'll do material. And we'll do one more, and we'll say sprites. Right? Keep it simple, nothing too complicated. And these are basically general. You can name them whatever you want. This is just how I like to name them. And if you watch my past videos, I have all these folders in all my other videos. The last thing I want to do is show you guys how to import the Visual Studio software folder so that we can use it for Unity. I'm not going to be using Model Develop. Model Develop does the same things. Yeah, like you'll be able to program the same stuff in Model Development if that's what you want to use. I personally like using Visual Studio Community now. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is go up to Assets in the top left corner. I'm going to click Import Package. And down on the bottom, you'll see Visual Studio 2015 Tools. I'm going to click that, and it's going to import it. If you don't have these tools, there's a video I created on how to get them, and you can. There's a couple other videos on YouTube on how to do it. I believe the latest software version of Unity comes with Unity built in, or Visual Studio plugin built in, so you should be able to do it that way. Once you have this plugin in your project folder, if I go to my scripts folder and I create a new script, no, not folder, excuse me, let's go ahead and delete that. Once I do that, I got to create a new C# script. I can just say like test, and I hit enter, and if I open this up, instead of opening up Model Development, it's going to open it up in Visual Studio, and my entire project will be built in Visual Studio. So here you can see it's a basic Unity script, but just in Visual Studio. So that's the setup for this video. That's really all I wanted to cover today. If you guys got any questions, please leave them down in the comments below. If you got any ideas for what we can do for the game, please leave them down in the comments below as well. Otherwise, I hope you appreciate it. Please like, subscribe, and comment, and I will talk to you guys next time.